r/AskReddit asks. Waiters, what Valentine Day disasters have you witnessed? I saw a couple have a full-blown argument in the middle of the restaurant. The woman stood up, took her ring off, threw it at him and walked out. The man continued his meal, had dessert and then paid the bill, left a pretty big tip for the inconvenience and left. She does this sometimes, sorry everybody. It wasn't disastrous for the couple as much as it was the restaurant. I used to work at a small southeastern franchise restaurant. It wasn't anything you could mistake for upscale. We had someone call in and ask if we could fry the ring he was planning to propose within a hush puppy. Extremely weird request, but we said sure. They come in to eat with their families, she gets her order of hush puppies, doesn't choke on the ring and seems excited enough. Stayed at the table for about 2 hours total and chatted. They dined and dashed. Wow. The nerve of some people. Not really a disaster, but this guy came in and said he was waiting for his date. He stayed for 5 hours waiting and she never showed. He eventually ordered for himself and asked that I remove the other glass of water from the table. He said it was their first date. Yay, I've been there. Like last week. Feels bad. Not a total disaster, but still not good. Had a table of 2 people, probably in their mid-40s last year. Took 45 minutes for this couple to get their entrees due to our kitchen being way too slammed. When they were dropped at the table, they immediately asked for toga boxes because they told their babysitter they'd be home by a certain time. I overheard the wife say, "Well, I guess this is why we don't celebrate Valentine's Day." The worst part was that they weren't angry, just very sad. My personal feelings about dining out on Valentine's Day aside, I felt so horrible that this couple clearly had put in an effort to have a nice night with each other only to have it go that way. We comped their meals, BTW. I got dumped on Valentine's Day last year. I am a waiter. Damn, you got served. That was really out of order for her to do. I was the disaster. I was a new server. And horrible. I dumped an entire tray on the floor. My bad. Honey, it's not your fault. Mistakes happen all the time. At least you never sat down with your nephew and tried to use his crayons before realizing that it was no tie or coloring book. Was a server at a popular seafood chain that isn't very fancy, but when you live in a town like the one I worked in, that sort of place is the nicest place to go for Valentine's Day. Well, the night was incredibly busy when a couple came in. They were upset after waiting 45 minutes for a table, and they were complaining quite a lot. The woman was decked out in a super nice dress and faux coat that was actually very realistic. Well, she was sat and served her frozen drink. She goes to lift the glass to her mouth, and inexplicably, the bottom of the cup simply breaks and the drink is spilled all over her dress and nice coat. Was unfortunate. Someone showing up for a date and you both realize about 30 minutes and she ain't coming. Drinks on me, buddy. Maybe that's what I should do next time I'm single or don't have plans on day. Go around to different places and get free shit. The end of cuffing season. You get together in late fall to keep warm and be less depressed in winter and break up in spring for your hot girl single summer. When do the waiters/waitresses have their Valentine's night out? In the walk-in, duh. I worked at a sports bar. Every couple there on Valentine's Day was a divorce waiting to happen. Not really much of a disaster, but last year my work called me up, "Hey buddy, we know you're single, can you come in as an extra shift tonight?" "No, I have a date with your wife." A nice lady brought her kid in for dinner. Got seated at a table next to her husband and his mistress. I bet that was well thought out on her part. 2 failed marriage proposals on the same Valentine's Day. The first one simply said, "No, I can't do this," and walked out. The second one stared like a deer frozen in the headlights for an excruciating 30 seconds before muttering, "Let's talk about this later." They stayed for the rest of their 6-course V-Day special dinner, eating and making painful small talk. I guarantee that 30 seconds was at most 5. Just wait till Saturday and this question again. The comments will be even more gold. Well, there was that time in 1929 when Al Capone had his goons shoot up 7 people from a rival gang. That was a thing. This thread could get sad fast, so I'll give a success story. Was working backline at an Arby's on Valentine's Day. It's 8 o'clock, store's empty. One couple comes and orders their food. I just finish making it when I see the guy get down on his knee and propose with a packet of horsey sauce. She says yes. I tell my manager and give them a free cookie because accepting a proposal done by condiments and Arby's is true love. I waited on one of the owners of the restaurant I was working at with his girlfriend and her twin kids, kinda weird, but probably didn't get a babysitter. He had been dating this woman for a number of months, but it was his first Valentine's Day on a date that wasn't his wife in decades. I don't think he was ready, but he was there to support the business. He broke down crying during dinner and it was heartbreaking. They left early. My birthday is November 14th, so you tell me. But I'll find out Friday cause I work a fucking double, and it's Applebee's. A guy did a backflip and asked a girl to be his Valentine. She declined. I walked up to him and asked if he was fine. He said it took him a week to perfect. A girl that I worked with went to lunch on Valentine's Day at an expensive restaurant her boyfriend had gotten a reservation for. She got dressed up nice, was going on about how sure she was that he was going to propose. He broke up with her,